guys, this is Richie here back again from the Red Planet Films, bringing you yet another movie review, and this time it is going to be for Batman and Harley Quinn. Now, I know, kind of a random movie to give you guys a review for. Don't mind the microphone coming into the screen, by the way. But, yeah, I don't know, I've just been a little bit busy, haven't been able to catch Planet of the Apes, and I don't want to give you guys, like, a late review of that either. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. So, I was actually at work the other day, and I went to Google when this movie comes out on Blu-ray. I just typed in Batman and Harley Quinn, and I saw that it was playing at a movie theater about an hour away from where I live. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. So right after work, I went, scooped up my sister from home, and then I'm like, hey, we're going to go see Batman and Harley Quinn. She's like, okay, cool. So we went, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot more packed than what I thought it would be. I remember seeing Batman the Killing Joke last year in theaters, and there was maybe myself, my sister, and probably 10 to 12 more other people. This one had about maybe max 25 people in here, maybe 30. It was a lot more than I expected it to be, which wasn't a problem. So, right off the bat, I just want to start with the voice acting. Kevin Conroy, of course, reprising his role as Batman. Every time I pick up a Batman comic book, that's the voice that I hear. That's the voice that I know, that I grew up with. Some people might hear Adam West. Adam West was great. Speaking of which, he has one more animated film coming out. Rest in peace, Mr. West. Or, you know, people might hear other voices. I don't know. Or maybe they just conjure up something else. But Kevin Conroy is my Batman. That's the Batman that I grew up with. That's what I hear when I read a comic book. So it was really nice to see him come back and, you know, play Batman once more. I hope he keeps doing it till, like, the day he dies. I don't care. And let's see. Harley Quinn. I have a little thing to say about Harley Quinn. Melissa Rock, I believe is her name. I just had to pull that up there because I was like, is it the way that I think it is? Okay. So it's Melissa Rauch. She's from The Big Bang Theory. I don't watch that show because I'm not a loser. Shout out to all you people who watch Big Bang Theory. No offense, but I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't know that Tara Strong wasn't voicing Harley Quinn. I avoided all the trailers because I felt like with Killing Joke, it showed off a little bit too much. Trailers in general, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know how I feel about them. I hate them. So I just wanted to kind of stay away from it. I know it was like something sort of original and new. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go in, you know, not knowing anything. Just stay away from the internet about this. Stay away from movie trailers, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't know that she wasn't voicing her. So as soon as she opened up her mouth, I'm like, I didn't really like it at first, to be quite honest with you. But then it kind of grows on you. You know, it's something different, something new. I know there was somebody else, or I don't know if it was the same person. No, somebody else in Assault on Arkham. And I didn't really mind that either. But again, kind of going back to Kevin Conroy, Tara Strong is my Harley Quinn. That's what I hear when I pick up a comic book. Melissa, whatever your last name is, you didn't do a bad job. You grew on me. At first I was like, but then by the end of it I was like, I enjoyed it. And I think the reason why I enjoyed it was because of the writing and some of the humor that was in it. This was very catered to making Harley Quinn, I guess, mainstream if you want to, even though she's kind of already hit that stride due to Suicide Squad last year. But I think the writing and the whole dynamic, I don't want to say it was like breaking the fourth wall because there wasn't really any direct conversation to the audience, but I feel like this movie was kind of self-aware. Like, it knew what it was doing. You know, it knew that it was more of a comedy route than the serious dark tone that what we get in the animated series. And at first, I didn't really like it, to be honest. I was like, oh, what's going on here? You know, there's like, it's a little bit too jokey. But then again, just as the voice acting did, kind of just grew on me. And it was kind of just cool in general to see, like, Bruce Timm's art style back, to see, you know, that kind of Batman be brought to life. And I feel like it was a little bit almost of an homage to kind of like the 60s Adam West style Batman. There's one scene in particular that's a bar fight, and Batman just like, it's just like completely deviates from like the character that we all know of Batman. But it was just kind of funny because it's almost as if Harley Quinn's troll-ish antics kind of break him, but like not in a bad way where like, oh, the Batman is broken, but I don't know, it just made for some kind of funny elements to see Batman out of his element. It made for some, you know, funny moments and everything like that. And, Nightwing is a pretty cool addition as well. And, kind of stinks that it's not, Batman and Harley Quinn with like little brackets that says and Nightwing. But it is what it is. But Harley Quinn has a ton of time in this movie to shine. And pretty much, the plot of the movie is Floronic Man and Poison Ivy. They want to take over the world. They want to make everything into plants because the earth has gone into the dumps. And they're like, you know what? No, we got to make plant life, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, okay, who is this guy? This, like, Swamp Thing wannabe ripoff or whatever. Funny about Swamp Thing. I won't get into it, but yeah, Swamp Thing. But anyways, so, I mean, the plot is pretty much straightforward. Very much a cartoon movie or cartoon type plot. Or it's like, villains want to do this, heroes must stop them. But Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are BFFs. Harley Quinn has gone straight, so Batman and Nightwing team up with Harley Quinn to talk to Poison Ivy to talk her out of releasing this thing to turn everybody and everything into plants and blah, 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 blah. So that's the plot. I mean, you can pretty much, already guess if you've watched the trailer just by me telling you what the movie's about, where it's going to go. But again, as I mentioned before, there are a lot of pretty funny aspects. It might piss off some people due to the fact that, the animated series, like, it's the same art style, it's more or less the same voice actors, minus Tara Strong, and how it sort of deviates from that serious tone into, like, this comedy route. I can understand how that might, rub some people the wrong way. It did with me at first, but then it kind of grew on me, and I think the reason being was because there was a whole bunch of people in the audience that were fans of the source material and were laughing their heads off just as much as I was and just as much as my sister was. There are a lot of funny scenes in this movie, a lot of funny dialogue, and I don't know, it just worked. And I would like to kind of see that maybe implemented in like a future Harley Quinn or Joker or Suicide Squad movie. Just more of that humor, but make it like dark humor. I don't know if a lot of people are kind of aware of like Nightcrawler or American Psycho kind of being like dark comedies in its own regard. Certain elements of it. They're serious films, but there are certain lines and dialogue and like character decisions that make you chuckle. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so messed up. Why am I laughing at this? I would like to kind of see that implemented in those future films if I'm kind of making sense here. Trying to, kind of trying to make you guys understand what I'm trying to convey. But anywho's, the voice acting, it grew on me with, absent Tara Strong. Kevin Conroy kills it as always. His voice, he just has like that gravelly voice, and it just works. Really cool to see the Bruce Timm art style back once more. As I just said, I've always digged his style. If you read like Mad Love and everything like that, those types of comics. I don't know. That's what I grew up on. So it attracts and it pleases my eyeballs. The movie's about just an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and change, so it's relatively short. Do I recommend you buying this on Blu-ray? Maybe. There is a nifty little Harley Quinn documentary that they showed after the film, and it's going to be on the Blu-ray. It was only about maybe like 5 or 10 minutes that they showed, so I was very intrigued with, what they're explaining and how Harley Quinn's origins came about. She was kind of like this, not a throwaway character in the animated series, but kind of like a henchman, but she just grew super popular and then, ultimately became canon, which is pretty awesome. This companion to the Joker. So it was just really interesting to, hear her origins and then, kind of like real life doctors talk about how Harley Quinn, is this or that. It was just very interesting. So I might recommend it if you're like a super duper hardcore fan of like the animated series and just Batman and Harley Quinn in general. Maybe rent it first. See what you think about it. Again, it might rub some people the wrong way who are looking for kind of like a serious movie, since this has like that same art style as the animated series. If you're looking for that serious tone, not gonna find it in this one. But again, it's very funny. I highly recommend it. Just checking it out if you're like a hardcore fan. But again, there were certain aspects of it that did initially rub me the wrong way at first. It did grow on me, but it is what it is. So overall, I think if I had to give this movie a letter grade, I would probably have to give it a solid B-. Thank you all so much for tuning into my review. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. You can never miss an upload. Check the description box down below. You find the link to our film channel, The Real Planet Gaming. I believe we are 626 subscribers strong, something like that. So if you're interested in gameplay such as The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Friday the 13th, Uncharted, got Lost Legacy walkthrough coming up pretty soon, and a slew of other content, head on over to that channel. I'm always there. I highly recommend it. You'll also find our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram information if you want to follow us on social media. And just for shiggles, we made a little sort of Streamlabs donation link. So if you want to, send us any of your couch change that you find, a couple of quarters or two, feel free to do so. It's not mandatory, but it's just there because a couple of people have asked about it whenever I've streamed live on our gaming channel. Never really thought about it, but I was just like, you know what, let me just make it, put it there. If people do whatever, it's whatever. But anywho, running on the tangent here, I'm going to go record some stuff for the gaming channel, speaking of which. But anyways, again, thank you all for tuning in. Like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what you thought about this movie. Where does it rank among, other DC animated films? What do you think about it? Would you like to see more? Anything and everything, feel free to sound off in the comment section down below. And I will catch you guys in the next video. So thank you all so much for tuning in.